Now more than 2 years after Jesus had been born in Bethlehem, during the reign of Herod the king, Joseph was ready to travel on to Judea. At that time there was a great disturbance taking place in Bethlehem of Judah over some Magi who had come from the east bringing marvelous gifts to Jerusalem, in keeping with the prophecy of Zoroaster, where they were asking, "Is the King of the Jews who has been born to you? We have seen his star in the east and have come to worship him." But Satan went and informed Herod the Great, father of Archelaus, about these things. Now when King Herod caught wind of it, he was disturbed by all that he had learned of the Magi, and all Jerusalem likewise, seeing that the boy was the King of the Jews. And he wanted to kill him that very instant. So shaken was he, as a matter of fact, that he assembled all of the scribes, Pharisees, chief priests, and teachers of the law from among the people, and asked them where the prophets had foretold the birthplace of the Messiah would be. "What is written about this Messiah?" he inquired. "Where is he supposed to be born?" "In Bethlehem of Judah," they answered him, for this is how the prophet worded it. "And you, Bethlehem, of Judah's land, are in no way least among the princes of Judah, for a leader will arise from you, who will shepherd my people Israel." Then King Herod dismissed them all, and secretly summoning the Magi to himself, he asked, "What was this sign that you saw that showed that a king had just been born?" "We saw how a star outshone all of these others," the Magi answered, "dimming them inexpressibly, such that these stars no longer gave light. This is how we came to know that a king had been born unto Israel. We have come to worship him." Herod then asked them the time of the star's appearance to them, and learned from them the precise time that the star had appeared. Then he sent them off to Bethlehem with these words, "Go right now and investigate. Uncover every detail having to do with this child, and after you have tracked him down, bring me a report, that I might come and worship him too." And hearing the king, they went their way. Now behold, the star that they had seen back east guided them, going before them until they arrived at the cave where the child was. And when the Magi saw the star, they rejoiced in inexpressible delight. It came to rest over the head of the cave, so they went inside and saw the child seated on the lap of his mother Mary, and they prostrated themselves in worship. Then they opened the treasures they had brought to them and presented the Holy Mary and Joseph with generous offerings. Each of them offered the child gifts and gold. One gave him gold, another frankincense, and a third one gave him myrrh. And rather than pronouncing a blessing upon them, Our Lady Mary took one of the swaddling cloths that the young child was wrapped up in and offered it to them, which they accepted from her as a glorious gift. And when they would have gone back to King Herod, even as they slept, God sent an angel to warn them in a dream not to return. So they set out for their native land by another route. Soon an angel appeared to them in the semblance of the star which had guided them on their way before, and they followed the light thereof until they came into their own land. And upon their arrival, kings and princes came up to them and posed all manner of questions to them, such as, "What did you do?" and "What did you see?" and "What was your trip like?" and "Who did you meet along the way?" But they handed them the swaddling cloth that St. Mary had given them and held a banquet in its honor. Then they lit a fire, which they worshipped according to the custom of their nation. Then they cast the swaddling cloth into the flames, which received it and preserved it. After the fire had been put out, they pulled it from the ashes unharmed, just as though the flames had never touched it. Then they started kissing the cloth, placing it over their heads and eyes. Without question, they affirmed, the truth of this is impossible to doubt, and it is truly astonishing that the fire was powerless to char it, much less to devour it. Then, with the utmost of regard, they took the cloth and treasured it alongside their other hallowed possessions.